Hey everybody, Ryan Madora here, and I am here to give you my tip for going on the road for the first time as a professional musician if you're going on tour. First off, if you want people to know you're a bass player to know, you should totally get the t-shirt, which you can find on my website. But seriously, the greatest thing you can do is be prepared for moments of hanger. I'm sure you know this. This is when you're like, oh, I've been in the road for a long time, or it's late at night in my hotel room and you're just starving and you need to have some snacks. I will say that the boss man, Robin Ford, gave me the nickname Zach Galifianakis because I was the one that always had a snack and it came in handy. There are lots of different ways you can get snacks. You can BYO, bring your own snacks. It's awesome. You can take snacks from the green room. They're free. You can go to a festival and be like, wow, they have all these things out here. I could have some of them. And you take them. I'm also going to show you the stuff that I bring on the road as my snacks. Usually my go-tos. Here's some road things. Peanut butter. Yes, even you can get them in the little packets, the little single serving things. Those are great, especially with pretzel chips. We have my favorite morning breakfast, the Bob's Red Mill's oatmeal. The cool thing about this is you can microwave them in a hotel lobby, or you can go to a Starbucks, ask them for just a cup of hot water and they won't charge you for it, and use that to do your oatmeal. We have two kinds of granola bars. We've got a fig bar and we've got the Cliff bar. I like both of these because they don't have chocolate, because chocolate melts. So if you're going on the road in the summertime and it's really hot, it's just nice to have non-chocolatey things so that they won't melt on you. Trader Joe's soft and juicy mango. Yes. Dried fruit. Definitely. We have one of my favorites, the cinnamon toast organic rice cakes. Again, this is a non-melty snack. You can put the peanut butter on it. It's a good time. We've got some sesame honey cashews, which are good. I love bringing almonds, just anything, again, that like won't melt. And that's just a good snack, good crunchy, salty, sweet sense of protein, whatever you need. But the best advice that I can give you when you're going on the road is have snacks, be prepared for moments of hunger, and know that if you bring healthier snacks, that's better because, it's very easy to eat poorly on the road. And as long as you have your own stuff, you can save money, save calories, and make it through all right. So have a great time on your first tour. Bye.
We are going guerrilla style with this video. No lights, no mic. Dale, great question, man. I think that, there's a couple of things. I jokingly said bathe in the chat, but I really meant that. The advice to give a person going on his or her first tour is read the room. Learn how to read the room. Pick up on social cues. Don't talk too much. Don't talk too little. Keep your off-color jokes maybe at home. Stuff like that. You just never know who's in the room. Sometimes you walk into a situation where you're playing with people who have been together for a long time, and so they have a certain dynamic that they're already used to, and you may be that odd person out. So you just have to read the room, know the spaces that you're in, be cool with everybody that you come in contact with, because people are watching that as well. If you're flying, how you talk to the flight attendants or the people you're buying coffee from in some little town or whatever. I think folks are always observing that type of thing. And don't be late for lobby call. Don't be late for don't be late for nothing. I get picked on sometimes, not picked on, but people tell jokes because I'm like, I'm not late. I'm just not late. I'm not late for stuff like that. I'm just not late, period. I'm not late. I'm not late. And if I am ever late, it's something happening. If the lobby call is at 6, I'm up at 5, dressed and ready to go. I'm in the lobby at 5:45. You know what I mean? That's just me. And I'm not saying that to big up myself. I'm just saying, there's rarely a reason to be late. So, and on top of all that, excuse me, have fun. Just have fun. So anyway, Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you're well. And hopefully we can really get out there and tour for real again soon. Peace.
Happy New Year, everyone. So thinking about going on a tour, your first or otherwise, my simple advice is remember it's a job. It's not going to be fun all the time. What happens on stage will be the easiest and funnest part of the experience. The rest can be tolerable or painful or probably somewhere in between mostly. Keep it simple, stay healthy, eat right, sleep well. It's not a party, man. It's a job. So do your job and accept the fact that it won't be all fun all the time. All right. I assume no one's going on tour right now, but it will happen soon. Take care.
Everything bass. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy 2021. Hopefully this is a very musical year and we're going to be able to get back out on stage. So if I have to give advice for somebody getting ready to go on their first tour, hopefully this is exciting for you. So harness that energy. It is very exciting. I enjoyed it very much. Definitely the first one was great and great learning experience. But it was a bonding experience too with the band members and stuff. But for advice, one thing I discovered that, after the initial kind of excitement of it kind of becomes routine, if you're out for weeks and weeks and weeks, you're going to find out that there's a lot of downtime. So I think it's a good idea to have things with you that are, that you can work on, things to practice, or if you're writing or whatever. We're definitely in a portable computer world. So if that's with you, I think that's a good idea. I think the things you want to avoid is like, don't fill all that time up, partying and doing damage to yourself and things like that. That will wear on you very fast, and it's not good for you. So that's the only thing I remember that some guys struggled with, and I did too a little bit in the first, because it's just it's readily available and it's kind of that vibe. But go out there, have a good time. Go out and give your best product. Make sure that you're playing for the band and that it's one cohesive team unit, and have fun. It's got to be fun. That's what you're selling. All right, my friends, good luck with your first tour when that comes, and hopefully that's this year. Everybody, good to see you, and Maurice from Los Angeles signing off. See you next time. Bye.
Hello all. I'm very excited for this week's question because it is something that doesn't get addressed nearly enough. For what advice would we give someone that's about to take on his or her first tour? Well, number one, and I'm not kidding, I recommend watching the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for a real reality check for Murphy's Law. When you're on the road, anything can happen. The very best thing that you can possibly do is maintain a good attitude. I'm going to quote from two men much smarter than I. And if you were expecting pearls of wisdom, you've got the wrong bearded bass man. You want Lee Sklar. His YouTube channel is in the link down below, I'm sure. But Steve Bailey said, you want three things. You want to be a great musician, a good hang, and dependable. If you are a good musician and you can deliver what's necessary for the gig, you've got that covered. If you are dependable, you're not showing up late, because late is always bad. You want to be early every chance possible. The rule of thumb being, if you're 30 minutes early, you are on time. If you are on time, you are late. And if you are late, you're fired. And that's a really good rule to have for yourself. And the one in the middle, the tallest one, is that you're a good hang. You may spend 4 hours on a stage and weeks on buses and planes with your gig mates and band mates and all that, and you have to be able to be personable and get along well one with another. So the only other quote that I'll make is very similar. It's from Mr. Rob Zombie. He said, "People think the music industry is so vast. It is not." And he said you're looking for 3 things. Number 1, you have to be a great musician, and that's the easiest thing to find. There are a million great musicians. But number 2, you have to be really cool. You have to be able to stand on a stage in front of 50,000 people, know your part, and be awesome playing it perfectly for the gig. And number 3, you have to be able to, again, get along. You know, he said, I've replaced people in my band with technically better players, but the dynamic changed. And turns out that one guy who maybe wasn't the best musician was the glue that kept everybody else from killing one another. So my only advice is have a good attitude and do the best you can, being responsible and personable, and just get along, man. That's it for me, because I am very excited to see what others on this panel will say and get some advice, because there are plenty of people here who have much more experience than I do, and so I'm eager as you guys are to hear the answers. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you guys next week.
Well, hello again, Bass Chat family. This is Roy Vogt coming to you from my home studio outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And the question this week is, what advice would I give a young bass player who's on their first tour? That goes back a long way to me, because I started touring in 1980, and basically was always on the road with somebody or another until 2003. And so that was a long time. That's like 23 years of being on the road with somebody or another. So there's 3 or 4 things that come to mind for a first tour. One of them is check your partying. You don't want to be dealing with doing your job when you're hungover and you've eaten a whole bunch of junky food, maybe gotten loaded and partied the night before, and then you got to go and get up and do some work, and you're not going to be at your best. The second thing would be that you need to basically take something to occupy yourself while you're out on the road. So, I always took music books and, ways to practice and things to occupy myself. And the third thing is to get out there and live your life, see some things, see some sights. I was able to go all over the world, everywhere from Minot, North Dakota to Moscow. And I always went and saw what the local culture had to offer, what the local music was like, what the local food was like. I'd get out there and experience it. And also, it might not be a bad idea to keep a tour diary and write down what happened. Definitely take pictures, definitely take videos. Now, of course, you can post everything on your phone and keep a blog and all that other stuff. That's all awesome stuff to do. And then finally, don't party like a rock star with your money, because the thing about tours is they come to an end. So I would save as much of it as I could, because there's going to be time you're not going to be on the road. And a lot of times people learn that the hard way. So, you may be out there touring around like a rock star, but you're not making that income. And if you are, you're not going to make it when you're not working. So, word to the wise. That's about it. Those of you who are getting out on the road now and starting with that, have a good time and have fun. That's what it's for. See you soon.
Hi, everybody out there in Bassland. This is Mark Corradetti coming to you from my home in Sarasota, Florida. And this week was a very interesting question. What kind of advice would someone have given me if I was going out on tour for the first time? Great question. I'd say first of all, it's important to bathe. You know, it's nice to be clean, and that's good. Second of all, just chill. You know, don't, start messing with the TV and, getting crumbs everywhere and all that kind of thing. Number three, I would say, don't be afraid to ask, especially if you're going to Europe. Get you some, voltage converters and things prior to going. And then also, don't be afraid to ask other people what you might need. Don't be one of those guys, the strong, silent type. Try to be, ask. It's okay. Everyone did it for the first time. Whether you're going for, 5 days or a couple weeks or a couple months, you want to have all the right stuff and, definitely get along with everyone and be cooperative. It's a group effort, unless it's a solo bass show, you're not going to have much luck there. So I would say those are the things that I would recommend mostly to people. And, be cognizant of other people's feelings and beliefs. Don't try not to get into arguments and things like that. Just do your thing, do what you were hired to do, and do the best you can. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So, what advice would I give to a bassist going out on his or her first tour? There's so much, and I'm sure that the other bassists on this panel will have great suggestions, but one thing that just popped to mind is to have duplicates. If you have a pedal board with patch cables, just buy an extra, redundancy set of patch cables. Anything that needs batteries, have batteries. I've even gone so far as to buy duplicate power supplies for certain pedal boards. Even some of the large power supplies that feed a bunch of pedals, because I've had those go down on me at the worst possible time. Obviously it makes makes so much sense to have duplicate sets of strings. I've even had strap locks. So I basically had a chest. Actually, it was a fishing tackle box that I just had everything out in it, that I would need. All the tools to work on my basses. Back when I was primarily playing Warwick basses, I had duplicate nuts because sometimes the graphite nuts would break. So really look at your setup and make sure you have a redundant set of everything that could possibly go wrong, because on the road, that's where it goes wrong. I do have another suggestion, but I can see that you might have your guitar player and drummer in the room. Go ahead and just ask them to leave. Okay, bye. Okay, now that they're gone. In some bands I've been in, where maybe the guitarist didn't always have another set of strings, or the drummer didn't have backup sets of pairs of sticks, I would just secretly find out what strings they use on what instruments, what sticks they prefer, and I'd buy a set of those, or I'd buy extras of those and just tuck them away. I didn't tell them about it, and usually wouldn't, like if in a rehearsal the guitarist broke a string and didn't have another string to replace it, I wouldn't necessarily offer it up then. I waited for the time when it was just almost impossible, or there wasn't enough time to get whatever was missing for the drummer or the guitarist. So it's not a bad thing to do. You get a really good reputation as being the guy that always has some. Now, a little trick, so they don't rely on you to have it, is when that situation comes up, maybe it's just minutes before the show starts, guitarist breaks strings, he doesn't know what to do, I would go, hey, let me dig through my stuff. I might have an old pack of strings, and go through, get them, give them to them, so that they don't really, think, oh, he's going to always supply my strings for me. Anyway, so yeah, just backups. And it's kind of initially fun to do, to look through all your, what you take on the road with you, and look through all of it and make sure you have backups for everything that you can, within reason. I did often tour with extra heads and stuff, but I didn't necessarily have duplicate cabinets for everything. All right, well, I hope that's of some help to you guys, because tours are coming back. We will be on the road again. We will be making music again, so it's good to be prepared.